Hey everyone, it's Richard Metal Fan here, bringing you guys another 2024 album review. And as you can see below the title, today we're going to be talking about the new album Chasing Euphoria by the band Lutharo, which is out now through Atomic Fire Records. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with Lutharo, they're a power metal, melodic death metal band based out of Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Been around since 2014. And I discovered Lutharo about a year ago or so. It was just from random like YouTube suggestions and algorithms and stuff. And I pretty much dug what I've heard. They've had like two EPs before that, and this fall their second full length album. This follows up their debut, which came out in 2021, entitled Herath, which I thought was a pretty good album. But here we are with their second full length album. Does this kind of live up or exceed what Herath has with Chasing Euphoria? In my honest opinion, I think it definitely has. I think the band went with more of a kind of like a darker, kind of melancholic kind of vibe with this album, but still has that hints of Herath in there. I think the band really stepped up their game a lot, being as they now been doing this for now 10 years exactly. Let's just talk about like the vocals from Krista Schifferbottom. I think Krista, in my opinion, is one of the best vocalists going right now. Now, I think her vocals, especially her clean singing, just gotten a lot powerful, and her growling and screams have just gotten a lot more powerful and a lot more heavier, if I should say so. I think she's definitely improved on her vocals. The guitar work on here is sick from Victor. I think he comes with some really sick riffs, and just the riffing on here, and just the guitar work is definitely amazing. A step up from Herath. The bass playing on this album, I wish was pretty audible from Chris. I kind of wish I could have heard a little bit the bass more. And drumming wise from Corey Hoffing. I think Corey's drumming on here is really tight and where it needs to be. So, without further ado, let's dive into this album track by track. Now, starting things off is the little intro, Gates of Enchantment, which is a little instrumental, like a minute or so, which pretty much sets the whole album and pretty much sets the whole vibe with it. Very cinematic, which leads perfectly into the next song, Reaper's Call. Now, this presents like a really great guitar work from Victor, which sets fire ear to their music and sort of like the whole melodic death metal kind of like vibe with this song. It has a really great start to the album, especially with the vocals from Krista, and just the riffing on here is just amazing. And then we go into Ruthless Bloodline, which is the first single released from Chasing Euphoria, which is a very violent yet melodious sounding song on here, with Corey's like sick drumming, and the bass from Chris on here is pounding, and thus the vocals from Krista is just really amazing. It's just really love her dynamic between the heaviness and the melodicness, which really goes well with each other. Next up is Time to Rise. Now this has another sick blasting of riffs and thunderous bass and really sick drums in the song with Time to Rise. And then Krista showing her vocal range with her cleans and demonic kind of like roaring on here is just really another showcasing of the different sides of Lutharo with the heaviness and the melodicness, like I just mentioned. Next up is Born to Ride. I think it's a really catchy song. It has some really pure metal lyrics from Krista, with songs with lyrics like "We're striking the light out safely, let the banners fly. Sight never guided me before, just stifled my might." It's just really exciting lyrics, which feels like you could just like you're driving. It's just that kind of like that whole little vibe that you get when you hear this. Next up is Bonded to the Blade. Now this is a good song, but it's not really as dynamic as the rest of the album. But I feel like Victor continues the sheer adrenaline of the riffs and the solos though, so it's a little bit of a redeeming factor with this song. Then we go into the title track, Chasing Euphoria. Now this brings our ears to sort of like the more modern day kind of like style of the whole power metal, melodic death metal movement, with soaring vocals from Krista, which has the rest of the band sort of like backing her up, which is fucking amazing. And then we get to Created a King. Now this is a really sick song, has some sick drumming from Corey as he just pounds the drums from start to finish, which is a perfect song for some sick headbanging. Next up is Strong Enough to Fail. Now this song, we're like the 9th song in. This pretty much shows that the band is not slowing down at all with the Strong Enough to Fall. It's just another feast of the mellow death with striking riffs and solos from Victor. It just involves us all into like a metal kind of like fucking vibe. Next up is Paradise or Parasite. Now, this song, starting off, has a little bit of a future-y kind of vibe, which evolves into the straightforward haired metal attack from Lutharo, while Krista delivering her really sick vocals, and Chris and Corey sort of like building up a great rhythmic section with sort of like the orchestral elements in there, which really makes a great, unique song. And then we close things out with Freedom of the Night. Has a really great bass part from Chris. I think that's really much the song that he really shines on here, which ignites sort of like the closing tune, which this is a really great song. It's like 7 minutes of just fast-paced riffs and beats and some really another sick vocals from Krista. In other words, I think it's a really great sort of like a climactic kind of finale to this album. Now, overall, Chasing Euphoria by Lutharo, really good album. So if I had to give this album a score, I'm going to give this a solid 8.5 out of 10. So yeah, that's my review of Chasing Euphoria by Lutharo, guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about it, and I'll see you all in the next video. And as always, keep it metal.